Hey there YouTube, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and it's time to play May's TBR game. Can you believe we're almost at the end of April? Like, where has the time gone? It's nuts. Alright, couple things before we get into the actual game. I will be doing 10 rolls, 5 regular like must reads and then 5 bonus rolls. I will be doing options for each prompt because it's worked really nicely to do that during the month of April, and it's just kind of taken some of the pressure off of me and like I have to read this exact book kind of thing. I've given myself options, so I'm going to continue to do that. Alright, so let's get into the rolls. Roll number 1. 1. That brings us into the TBR state. I am not going to use it as a reason to go shopping for various reasons, but I am going to pull a card and then we'll return to the beginning of the game board. So we got Cactus Juice, read a book by a new to you author. Alright, so roll number 1 gave us a new to you author, and so my 2 options for this are Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm. This is a science fiction book set on a transport ship. It is 4 months out of Earth when catastrophe strikes, leaving the ship and everyone on board stranded in deep space. This is a middle grade, so our main character is 13. Her name is Beth. She and her friends, it's kind of up to them to navigate through the uncharted territory out in space to reach safety. The ship is heavily damaged. There are space pirates, which sounds intriguing, and mysterious alien species, as well as an artificial intelligence that Beth doesn't know if she can trust. So I'm expecting lots of fun like sci-fi twists and turns in this one. My second option is going to be Cursed by Frank Miller, or excuse me, by Thomas Wheeler, illustrated by Frank Miller. This is also a Netflix series which I have not seen. I want to read the book first. And it is a fantasy, I believe. The dust jacket says, whosoever wields the sword of power shall be the one true king, but what if the sword has chosen a queen? Our main character is Nimue, who grew up an outcast. Her connection to dark magic made her something to be feared in her druid village that made her desperate to leave. That is until red paladins slaughter her entire village and Nimue's fate is forever altered. Charged by her dying mother to reunite an ancient sword with a legendary sorcerer, Nimue is now her people's only hope. Her mission leaves little room for revenge, but the growing power within her can think of nothing else. She's going to be teaming up with a mercenary who's described as charming. His name is Arthur. And a refugee several refugee fae folk from across England. So she's got the sword meant for the one true king, but will she be the one true queen? Roll number 2. We're starting back here at the bottom, and we have rolled a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blank, which means we pull another card. I love playing this game. I probably could play for hours. Rack up a massive TBR. This one says, Ang, read a book with a chosen one trope. Okay. Does it count if I'm writing a book that kind of has a chosen one trope? Roll number 2 brought us the Ang card, chosen one trope. So I have 2 options. The first option will be to reread a Harry Potter book, anyone in the series, because sometimes I just want to reread Harry Potter. The other option will be The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. Now I did try to read this once and I got stuck, but I felt like I liked it enough that I wanted to come back and try again. This is about a girl who has gold blood, if I remember right. Decca is her name. She's 16, and she has to go through a blood ceremony that will determine whether she becomes a member of her village. And she's already different from everyone else because she has this intuition power, and so she really wants red blood so that she can be accepted, feel like she belongs, and so on. But on the day of her ceremony, her blood runs gold, which in this society is the color of impurity. And Decca knows that she will face severe consequences, perhaps even worse than death. However, a mysterious woman comes to the village and she gives Decca a choice. Stay and submit to your fate, or leave to fight for the emperor in an army of girls just like her. Roll number 3. 1. South Pole. Alright, so for South Pole, I need to post a poll on social media and let other people decide what I'm going to read. Rule number 3 was South Pole, where we have to poll on social media. Now, I do have a couple of Facebook groups that usually will reply when I put polls up, and so I posted a poll, same 5 book choices in each one, and I decided that the top choice for each group would be my options. So in one of the groups I am in, the top choice was How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. This is about a girl, Bethany. She is obsessed with Keanu Reeves and learns that he's about to be married, and so she forces her best friend, who's been crushing on her for a while, to go on this road trip with her to stop the wedding and make Keanu realize that she is the one for him, even though they've never met in real life. That's normal, right? But it sounds like it would be a fun one. And one of the people in the Facebook group said they would buddy read this with me, so that could be really fun as well. The other Facebook group chose Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This was one of the options for my April TBR as well, but I ended up picking the other option in that category. So this is about Olivia, who is invited to return to her family ancestral home, except for when she gets there, they're like, no one invited you, so where did this letter come from? And what? Her mother's journal had warned her to never go there, so she got this mysterious letter that no one sent to bring her there. What's going on? I mean, it's V. Schwab, so I know the writing is going to be good, and it's been super hyped everywhere, so I am looking forward to this one, whether it's in the month of May or at another point. I'm also going to toss in a third option for this one because this book, which is the second place finisher in the same Facebook group that chose Gallant, got more votes than the Keanu Reeves in the other group. So this is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen, and it is involving mermaids, I believe, and Simi is our main character. She is supposed to rescue the souls of those who die on the ocean and take them to their next life. But a living boy is thrown overboard, and instead of letting him die and taking his soul, she saves his life, which goes against this ancient decree of what she's supposed to do. So in order to protect the other creatures like her, the Mamiwata, she goes on a quest to the Supreme Creator to try to make amends for what she has done. Look at these pretty sprayed edges. Pretty cover too. Roll number 4. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sneak peek. So for this one, I need to look at someone else's TBR and pick a book from theirs. Okay, so rule number 4 got a sneak peek where we have to look at someone else's TBR. I pulled up Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin's TBR for the month of April, and there were a few options. So he was going to read the Goosebumps 2000 series. If those are available in my school library where I work, I could read one of those. He was also going to reread the entire Heartstopper series, all 4 volumes. So I have this series. I have already read it, but I could also reread it because why not? It's darling. Have you guys seen the Netflix series? I binged it all in one day. It was so cute. Love it. If you don't know Heartstopper, it is about 2 boys who are on the same rugby team at a British school for boys, and one is out, Charlie, he's out and openly gay. The other one, Nick, is straight, or at least questioning his identity. He's not sure, and then eventually he's going to come to a decision about that. But this is super, super cute series, and it is graphic novel. Roll number 5. 1. I'm just rolling 6s and 1s today. Alright, we landed on this planet which shoots us across here, and we draw a card. Asami, read a steampunk. Ooh, this is perfect. Roll number 5 got us a steampunk read, and this is perfect because my students currently are required to read either a steampunk, a fantasy, or a horror, and so I've been teaching them about what steampunk is, and I can show them, look, I'm reading steampunk too. So I have 2 choices. One of the books is Rebel Mechanics by Shanna Swenson. This book is in my classroom, actually, so I'll put up a picture here. This is about Verity Newton. She manages to find a job as a governess to a wealthy family in New York, but this family has secrets. And this family, it turns out, is one of the magisters or rulers of the colony, but one of their uncles is a rebel sympathetic to the cause of underground engineers and mechanics that will help them emancipate themselves from British rule. A lot of times we see steampunk set in Victorian era times, but this is obviously in the American Revolution, which is cool. It's just something different there. Our other steampunk option is The Inventor's Secret by Andrea Kramer. And this one, I'm going to read the back. It's only like 2 sentences. The tables have turned. In a world where Britannia rules the colonies with an iron fist and revolutionaries are hanged for treason, a group of rebels risks everything to fight against the future that could kill them. So again, we have American Revolution era steampunk. 2 great choices. I guess we'll see what I'm in the mood for when I get there. All right, we're heading into the bonus rolls, and here is roll number 6. Let me make sure I'm going in the right direction. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we narrowly avoided the cabbage pot. Time for another card. We have Bato. Author's name begins with either an A or a B. Okay, so into our bonus rolls, we got Bato. The author's name begins with an A or B. So again, I have 2 options. I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden, last name beginning with A. This one you guys probably know more about than I do. Probably some of you have read this one. This says, winter lasts most of the year at the edge of the Russian wilderness, and in the long nights, Vasilisa and her siblings love to gather by the fire to listen to their nurse's fairy tales. Above all, Vasia loves the story of Frost, the blue-eyed winter demon. Wise Russians fear him, for he claims unwary souls, and they honor the spirits that protect their homes from evil. Then Vasia's widowed father brings home a new wife from Moscow. Fiercely devout, Vasia's stepmother forbids her family from honoring their household spirits, but Vasia fears what this may bring, and indeed misfortune begins to stalk the village. Her stepmother is going to grow harsher and make the village to her liking and groom her rebellious stepdaughter for either marriage or to be sent away to a convent. So Vasilisa, or Vasia, has to, of course, fight against the evil stepmother. Second option for this prompt is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. I recently reread the first book in this series, the Diviner series, and I'm ready to move on to book number 2. I don't really want to say too much about this because it is a sequel, but I will say the series involves Prohibition era New York City, strange occult things, and mysteries to solve. Roll number 7. 1. We have to go back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we have the element arrows. Alright, so we have to use a random number generator. I'm sorry, you'll see my umbrella alert reflected right there. I have set a number generator from 1 to 8. Actually, that should be 2 to 8. Because I'm going to use even numbers. And if I get a 2, it will be air, 4, fire, 6, water, and 8, earth. I'm going to tap it 1, 2, 3 times, and we have 6, which is water, and water is a fantasy. Again, sorry for the reflection of all my equipment. Alright, so number 7 gave us the element triangles, and through our random number generator, we got water, which is a fantasy. So, I've got a couple different options here again. I have a Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. This is a Wonderland or Alice in Wonderland retelling. Look at this cover. Isn't that beautiful? I heard the author of this do a podcast interview with Marissa Meyer, and she said that she put like little Easter eggs to do with Sailor Moon in here and Tuxedo Mask, so that would be fun to look for. I don't know a ton about Sailor Moon. I read the first little bit and I watched a few episodes, so as a very uneducated but like growing fan of Sailor Moon, it'll be interesting to see if I can find those things while reading this one. This is set in Atlanta, but then going into the dream realm known as Wonderland, and our main character Alice is juggling an overprotective mom, a high maintenance best friend at school, and she's having nightmares from the place of Wonderland. So that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Another option I have for this one is The Gilded Cage, which is the sequel to The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Can't tell you much about this other than it involves a prison with a healer who has powers that she shouldn't be able to have, and crazy plot twists. It is really good. I have a third option for this category as well. This is Into the Blood Red Woods. And you might have seen this one in my haul that I did when I went book shopping the last time. This is in a faraway land populated by werebeasts, and it's surrounded by a powerful forest. There is a kingdom that's kind of about to be sent into chaos, and King Tyrion on his deathbed divides his land, leaving half to each of his 2 children so they'll rule together. His son Albrecht is really upset, thinking that he should have the whole kingdom. His daughter Ursula is the firstborn, and Albrecht says, well, you know, Ursula's a werebear, she's unfit to rule, so I get the feeling that he's going to be the bad guy, Ursula is going to be our heroine. We're going to see these siblings fighting against each other. And there is going to be much fighting. We use the word slaughtering here in the little blurb. That's a strong word. Yikes. Ursula is trying to gather survivors of these attacks and make plans to seize the kingdom back. Interesting. Roll number 8. 2. 1, 2. Cabbage pot. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so we got the cabbage pot for roll number 8, and I have my handy bag here. In the keeping of the spirit of giving myself options, I'm going to be pulling 3 titles from the cabbage pot bag. So our first one is Before the Devil Breaks You, Diviners number 3. So, since I may or may not be reading number 2 for something, if I read number 2, then I could use this one for my cabbage pot roll, but I'm gonna just, I'll put it on my list of 3 options. Okay, pick number 2, Deadly Education, which is the first in the Skull Amount series by Naomi Novik. Alright, so I'll show you this one. It is, like I said, a Deadly Education. It is the first in the series. Naomi Novik is a stunningly beautiful writer. I'm super excited to read more from her. This tells us everyone loves Orion Lake, everyone else that is. Far as I'm concerned, he can keep his flashy combat magic to himself. I'm not joining his pack of adoring fans. I don't need help surviving the Skull Amounts, even if they do. Forget the hordes of monsters and cursed artifacts. I'm probably the most dangerous thing in the place. Just give me a chance and I'll level mountains and kill untold millions, make myself the Dark Queen of the world. At least that's what the world expects. Most of the other students in here would be delighted if Orion killed me, like one more evil thing that's crawled out of the drains. Sometimes I think they may want me to turn into the evil thing which they assume I am. The school certainly does, but the Skull Amounts isn't getting what it wants from me, and neither is Orion Lake. I may not be anyone's idea of the shining hero, but I'm going to make it out of this place alive, and I'm not going to slaughter thousands to do it either, although I'm giving serious consideration to just one. Is there going to be a hate to love romance trope in here, or are they just going to hate each other always? Okay, cabbage pot pick number 3. I'm always so terrified to do these. You never know what's going to pop up. Okay. Mortal Danger. Alright, so this is also the first book in a series. This is by Anne Aguirre. And it says, that which does not kill us makes us stronger. Edie Kramer has a score to settle with the beautiful people at Blackbriar Academy. Their cruelty drove her to the brink of despair, and she didn't think she could face her senior year. But thanks to Faustian compact with the enigmatic Kian, she now has the power to make the bullies pay. In one short summer, her entire life changes, and she sweeps through Blackbriar, taking the elite crowd down from the inside. A whisper here, a look there, and suddenly bad things are happening. It's a head rush seeing her tormentors get what they deserve, but things that seem too good to be true usually are, and soon the pranks and payback turn from delicious to deadly. What an interesting cover. Like, that red lip just, like, whoa, what is going on? Roll number 9. Give me something good, please. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Team Avatar. Alright, so that is asking a friend or family member to pick a read for me. Okay, so number 9, Team Avatar, ask a friend or family member to help you. I reached out to a friend of mine, and she, along with the help of her 8th grade son, who is in my class, picked out this book, Only a Monsters by Vanessa Len. This came in a recent Fairy Loot box, I believe. Was it Fairy Loot or Alcrate? It's got sprayed edges, so that makes me think Fairy Loot. So to refresh our memories, this is about Joan, who is 16. She's sent to stay with her late mother's eccentric family in London, and she is determined to enjoy herself. She has a job that she loves at the historic Holland House, and her super cute coworker Nick asks her on a date, and she feels like everything's just amazing. Then a Good Samaritan attempt gone wrong sends her spinning through time, and her life quickly begins to unravel. She finds out that her family is not just weird, they are monsters, and Nick isn't just a cute boy, he's a legendary monster slayer. And last roll, number 10, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that just means roll again. 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have the 20-sided dice. Okay, in an effort to save myself some time, I'm going to use the same list from the last time I did this, and the handwriting here is terrible. I did roll a 13 last time, so if I roll a 13 with a 20-sided die, I am going to roll again because that book option is taken. Ooh, or maybe I should say if I roll a 13, I get to pick a mood read. Ooh, I like that. All right, here we have our magical die, and we're going to roll. Oh, we got a 12. Okay, here we go. And the last one, we got the 20-sided die. We rolled number 12, and number 12 on the list was Kiki Kalira Breaks a Kingdom by Sangumandana. So on this one and the last one, I don't have options, but I am going to build in a fail-safe where I can replace this if I'm just in a crisis. But Kiki Kalira has always been a worrier. Did she lock the front door? Is there a terrible reason her mom is late? Her anxiety has been getting out of control, but one thing has always soothed her: drawing. Her sketchbook is full of fancy doodles of rich Indian myths and legends her mother has told her over the years. One day, Kiki ends up falling into the mystical world of her sketchbook, where she discovers her characters have been brought to vivid life from the awesome band of rebel kids who protect the kingdom to the less awesome evil god bent on total destruction. As the one responsible for creating him, Kiki must overcome her fear and anxiety to save both worlds, the real and the imagined, from his wrath. But how can a girl armed with only a pencil defeat something so powerful? Alright, so that is the end of our TBR game for the month of May. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and if you enjoyed them. Please, no spoilers. That's just mean. And hopefully the next time I see you, my hair will have been cut because it's getting way out of control. In the meantime, have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.